Hello folks, I hope you're having an amazing day today. Today we're taking a look at the short story by Shirley Jackson in the collection that we're doing a deep dive into called Dark Tales, which was published in 2017. This is a 7-page short story called The Beautiful Stranger. The central conceit of this short story is that our POV character, a married wife and mother of a couple of children, young, her husband is replaced by a stranger. And so we're going to find out what winds up happening in this short story. Now, there's not much of an ending to this short story. It just kind of ends. In a line. It doesn't really have a paragraph. It doesn't go anywhere interesting or do anything unusual or even go to a place predictable. So that's not, it's a little weird. It was also super fast to read. It took me about 15 minutes for me to knock it out last night for the first time at about 7 pages long. It's very super easy to read, and it was a lot of fun stuff. Now, Shirley Jackson is a big name in the horror field, so we've been doing a deep dive into her stuff with this collection that we're taking a look and deeper dive into. I'm doing a review each day, but then I'm going to be publishing it once a week, so you'll get a whole bunch of these delayed up front. Prior to me doing a deep dive into Shirley Jackson, I've read 2 of her stories. The first of those was a short story called The Lottery, which I would have given a 10 to a 10 out of if I'd ever reviewed it for this channel, that I read when I was in school as a part of my literature classes. The other was a novel that's one of her biggest hits called The House on Haunted Hill, that I have read a couple of years ago for this channel. If I remember correctly, I probably gave it an 8 out of 10. It was really strong, and I loved them both. So I wanted to do a deep dive into one of, America's most top talented and beloved and respected horror writers of all time, Shirley Jackson. So that enter this collection that we're doing a deep dive into. Now, some of the short stories in this collection are definitely less horror and are more like psychological dramas and that sort of a thing, which have interesting premises, go interesting places and that sort of a thing. Now, this has a horror premise, right? The wife's husband has been replaced by a stranger, or at least she believes. But its ending and its last, what she does with it actually makes this feel less like a horror, just more like just a drama. So the basic core concept is horror, but it's interpreted in a non-horror way, which is an interesting take on it. So credit to Shirley Jackson for that. I'm going to be giving this a 7- out of 10. Again, the ending wasn't great, so it's more like a 6.8 or a 6.7 that I'm rounding up to a 7. But it's still Shirley Jackson, so it's still worth your time. A lot of fun things are happening in the short story. She's definitely somebody who's well written. So it's a 7- because of the ending. But that's it. I'll go ahead and leave you to it. That is The Beautiful Stranger by Shirley Jackson in our collection that we're taking a deep dive into, which I'll link you to in the collections below. I try to keep these reviews spoiler-free, so I only give you the basic sort of premise of what's happening in the short story. I talked about the ending without giving any details. But if you want to talk about the spoilers below, please, let's do so. If you've read this short story and you want to talk about that in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, hey, why not hit that subscribe button? There's going to be a lot more of these to follow. And then finally, I want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and investing it and watching my video. We all have so many things that are happening in our lives, and we're pulled so many different directions. So the fact that you spend this time with me is incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.